this is pretty rad. I haven't had this happen yet on the show. Julia Gulia returns like 1 week later. So I'm going to bring her on. Hey, Julia, what's up?
Hey, Dr. John. Thank you so much for having me back.
Of course. Okay, so for everybody listening, this is probably a week or two ago. Julia called in, and so your son, you have a whole history of family stuff, but you were going to see your son's step family, and for Christmas in like South Dakota or something.
Yes, a little bit norther than that.
Okay,
North Dakota.
It's somewhere where it's really cold and barren and sad. And y'all were going there, and he didn't want to go because he's 17, and he has a sweet little girlfriend, and he has a new job. And so we talked about, what do we do? Do we make him go, not make him go, all that. Okay, and then Kelly, this just now, said, hey, I have a surprise. Julia talked to him, did all the things you said, Delony, and now she wants to talk to you again. And I don't even know really this is going to be awesome. Okay, so what's up?
Oh, man. Okay. So, yes, I took your advice. And honestly, for the first time, or one of the very, I count on my hand, just a handful of times, I have stuck to my guns with my son. I felt good about what I was asking. I felt solid, like, yes, I am being rational. I told him, you don't get a vote, but you get input, like you said. And I said, we'll go work out and we'll do some things that you enjoy too. And I felt really confident, and I didn't even second guess myself.
How did it go?
Felt really good. It didn't really go that great.
Yes.
He definitely pushed back, which I was expecting. He did. It did soften the blow somewhat when I took your advice and gave him some control over how we spend our time there. Mm-hmm. So that did help, but it did not really go well. We kind of fought about it, but again, I just said, you know what? You don't get a vote. You don't get a vote. I just kept repeating that. And a couple days went by, and I had been asking him to take the time off of work for those few days for several weeks before we even spoke, hoping that he would. And a couple days go by after we had the talk, and he told me that he was unsuccessful getting the time off work because he didn't ask early enough.
Oh, what a great flex. Hey, you
right?
raised a very smart young man. Well played. Like, I'm tipping my hat to him.
I definitely did.
Well played. Well played.
I was half mortified, half like, wow, that's impressive. So,
if that had been my kid, I would have high-fived him. Like, well played. Well played.
And I've been really thinking, I know, and I've been thinking a lot about all of this, and, I don't remember, I know we talked about a lot, but I raised him as a single mom, and, I really, his entire life, I've had a hard time telling him no, because I just thought I brought this child into the world without two parents. And early on, I decided that I was going to try to give him everything he wanted in spite of that. And I think I really messed up. I really do. I don't. And so I've always given in to him. And at this point, I don't really know how to differentiate between normal teenage boy behavior and my own expectations, if they're normal, if they're rational. And then we have this other history of me really having a hard time saying no to him because that's just where I'm at. And here we are.
Yeah. So I sounds like he's received a vote. He's got a vote his whole life. So this is something he doesn't have maybe not even have the psychological wiring for. Right?
I know.
And
I know.
That's okay. It's all right. He's going to face this at some point, and it's better that he faces it from you than his first boss or from a college professor that fails him because he, whatever.
Right.
Right. And so it's the day of reckoning is coming.
Okay.
Actually it's here. And you've got glimpse number one. So no, and I think, I don't remember if I told you this, there's no chance that talk goes well. In terms of, I think it goes well, and you said what you need to say, you said it in a way you need to say it. It doesn't go well where he leans back and he goes, gee, Mom, you're right. Your job is to raise a great man, and that means you have to say no sometimes. You're right. It went to, no, man, me and girlfriend have already figured out how she's going to sneak over to the house while you're gone, and I'm going to make all this money. And so it was just a a complete. His plans blew up, and they never blow up because he gets to decide everything that happens in his life. So here he is, and so I'm going to think through this out loud. Is that cool?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Here's avenue number one. Is this the hill you want to die on? Is this, and what I mean by that is, he's going to have to learn this. Mm-hmm. Is this the one? Or is there another one? Like, I don't know what the next step is. Is he a senior in high school or a junior?
He's a junior, so I'll still have a year and a half with him at home.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That actually makes a difference. I'm thinking through this. Is this the hill I want to die on right now?
Right.
Or if you back off of this one, because you were pretty resolute this time, if you back off of this one, does he go exactly like always?
Right.
So you kind of drew a line in the sand, and he just smiled at you and stepped across it. And the second one is, I don't think, where does he work?
He works at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I don't think they'll fire him. I really don't. Especially if he walked in and said, I absolutely blew it. I was supposed to take time off to go be with a family situation that I didn't want to be a part of. And I messed up, but I have to go on this thing, and I really value this job.
Right. I agree with you, yeah.
I don't think they will fire him. They might because they have to, but I've just done some work behind closed doors with that company for a couple of years, and they are of the highest caliber of integrity, especially when when it comes to raising young people. The third option is, which this is kind of the nuclear option, is you tell him, I'll go with you. Mm-hmm. And I will sit with you when you tell your supervisor or your lead manager, whatever they call them there, that you didn't take the time off. This is a non-negotiable trip, and that you hope they don't fire him, but you understand if they have to let him go.
Right.
And you will look like the worst. He's going to look at you not out of anger. It will be bewilderment. He doesn't know you.
No, he doesn't.
You know what I mean?
I know.
And so he's 100% age appropriate. There's not one thing he's doing that makes me like, oh no. He's never had a boundary, and you put one up. And of course he's going to run into it and see if it falls down, see if there's a way around it or a way over it. Can't go under it, right? That's his job. He's 17.
Right.
What you have to be prepared for is he goes to war.
Right. I don't know how to do that. I don't. But I definitely feel resolute in this because I feel like if I don't do it now, like you mentioned before, he's going to face it some other time where I'm not going to be there to help him and to counsel him, and it's going to come from from left field. Yeah. And I feel like I've already wasted or spent a lot of his youth not helping him with this skill.
Have you told him what you just told me?
I haven't, no.
I think that's a good conversation to have. And he's not going to understand it, but he'll hear it.
Okay.
He'll think it's just, I mean, part of him, you'll be a Charlie Brown's teacher. Right?
Yes.
And part of it is, hey, the world's coming for you at 1,000 miles an hour, and you don't even realize it yet.
Right.
And because I loved you so much, and I didn't want you to hurt so bad, I protected you from a lot more than I probably should have. And I'm not going to apologize for it because A, it's over, and B, I did it out of love, even though I would probably do it differently this time. Mm-hmm. And all I can control is what happens next. But when I say go to war, it wouldn't surprise me if you came into like my office at the local university and you came in and he starts doing drugs. He sneaks out. He runs away and goes to his girlfriend's house to try to avoid going on this trip. Like none of that would be shocking behavior to me.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, I mean, you still may have to call police to go find him. You still may have to get a coach or another mentor that is in his life that can help out. But not any response he has to these boundaries isn't going to surprise me. I would default as best I can, and again, I talk too much. You listen to this show, you know that. I err on the side of over-explaining.
Okay. I can do that.
And it may be as simple as, man, I will help you. When we get back, I'm going to help you find another job if they fire you. I'll help you.
Okay. Right.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like a weird, what? Like, but I'll help you. And I'm happy to go up there and do it. But I think the right thing for you to do is to go let your supervisor know that you forgot to ask off, or you didn't ask off soon enough and you blew it. But this family trip is mandatory.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's a hard lesson. It's a hard lesson. But if this is one you want to stick to your guns on, man, I mean, you got my support and my vote.
Thank you.
I just don't want I don't want there to be an illusion that it's going to be like, all right, you got me.
I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't think for a moment that's how it's going to go. I keep wishing for that, but
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I've been through enough now. But this time I'm not giving in. I'm not. I can't, for his benefit. I have to keep telling myself that.
Yeah. This
is for his benefit, and just with your help, and I'm confident in sticking with this.
That's
and
awesome.
I believe it's going to go okay. I do. So,
and maybe
in the end,
the way out of the gate is put 2 or 3 or 4 nice restaurants on the table and say, which one do you want? You get to pick where we go tonight.
Okay.
And you could tell him we're gonna have mom talk number 2, and he'll roll his eyes and be like, rolling big, or even set it up beforehand. Hey, I want you to go ahead before I even say anything. I want you to roll your eyes as much as you can. Do it. Do it.
That's perfect.
And make him do it, and do it with him, and then say, hey, you get to pick 2 or 3 restaurants because we're going on mom and son talk number 2. And I'm already telling you, you're not gonna like it. It's just part of being my son. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just kind of set the stage, but also we're quietly kind of through the side door, we're giving him some choice.
Right.
And he can choose to go talk to his supervisor. He can choose to have you go with him. He can choose to quit, but he doesn't get to choose whether he goes on the trip or not.
Okay. I like that.
Is that fair?
It is fair. And can I say one more thing?
You can say anything you want.
Well, I just want to let you know that I completely agree with you that I Remember You by Skid Row is the best rock ballad ever.
Yes! Written. Hey, I'm going to... I don't want you to say your kid's name on here. Listen, young man, your mom's brilliant. She's very smart. Listen to her. Julia, you just made my whole week. Isn't that song incredible? Man, I get goosebumps.
It's amazing.
I used to push play alone in my room and just stare up at the ceiling and listen to it over and over. Man, it's so great.
And it still rocks to this day. I mean, and when I heard you say that, I literally had to rewind the podcast. I was like, wait, what?
Listen, everybody.
I was just like, yeah.
Skid Row, I Remember You. I want you to get in your car and put your headphones on. Get in a quiet, private place and listen to that song alone. And if you don't start crying, you don't have a soul. Ah, so good, Julia. You are the best of the best of the best. This will be hard. I wish I could tell you it's going to be not hard. It's going to be simple moving forward. It's going to be really challenging. One last thing I would recommend, Julia. You have 1 or 2 women that you trust that you can reach out to when you're about to cave in. You have 1 or 2 or 3 men that you trust, that your son trusts, that you can reach out to, that they can go to coffee, they can talk, they can go to Cracker Barrel, Waffle House, whatever, go for a walk or a hike or a run, that he can just complain about you and be like, she's just all of a sudden, and they can say, yeah, you're exactly right. Because your mom's overnight, the light came on and she's seeing a fuller picture of your life. And world's coming at you real fast. And mom is no longer going to be able to stand in the way. He is lucky to have you. And you're an inspiration to all of us parents who have realized, we need to make some changes. And these changes are going to be real hard. And the adult thing to do is to make the hard changes anyway.